While Deltech attachments are designed to work with Deltech fitness products, they also fit many other brands as well. If you're considering purchasing a Deltech attachment like our Preacher Curl, Leg Developer, or Lat attachment, and you don't have a Deltech bench, this is a guide made to let you know if our attachments will work for you. There are three main factors that can keep our attachments from fitting your product: tube size, tube thickness, and tube radius. All Deltech attachments are built off of a 45mm piece of square tubing. 45mm is slightly larger than 3/4 of an inch. Not everyone has a pair of calipers, so it's useful to see what 45mm looks like on a tape measure. If you're not familiar with a tape measure, each line indicates a different fraction of an inch. The lines usually are different heights, with the longest being full inches, then half inches, quarter inches, eighth inches, 16ths, then 30/2 of an inch. Our tube measured 1.775 instead of 1.75, meaning it's slightly larger than 3/4 of an inch. The next smallest tick up from 3/4 of an inch is 25/32. 25/32 is also slightly larger than the outside measurement of our tube. When measuring your bench, make sure that you press the metal end of the tape measure up against the inside of the tube wall until it stops. By design, the tips of tape measures move depending on if you're measuring the inside or the outside of something. In this case, the tube measures larger than 25/32, which means the attachment will fit with no problem. This is a 50mm square tube with 2mm walls. 50mm is roughly 2 inches measured on the outside. 2mm wall thickness is roughly equivalent to 14 gauge tubing, and 3mm is roughly 11 gauge. Our products will fit 2-inch 14 gauge, but won't fit 2-inch 11 gauge. This tube measures just under 1/8 of an inch, meaning it's made of 11 gauge. If it measured just under 3/32, it would be 14 gauge. When we measure the inside of this 11 gauge tube, it measures less than 25/32, which means our attachment will not fit. The radius of your tube being too big will keep the attachment from fitting as well. When I'm talking about the radius of the tube, I'm talking about how round the corners of the tube are. If the corners of your outside tube are too round, the inside tube won't fit. A small radius is okay, but make sure that you don't have a large radius on your tube. Finally, if you have measured and everything should work but doesn't fit, there's probably something obstructing the tube. While all Deltech products are burr-free, other competitors sometimes leave rough saw edges or rough powder coat buildup. This can be fixed with a cheap file from the hardware store. If you have bought a Deltech fitness attachment and it doesn't fit your bench, we kindly ask you to select No Longer Needed on the Amazon return link instead of Defective. You won't be penalized or charged shipping, and it really helps us out because defective returns hurt our listings. Thank you for choosing Deltech Fitness.